seems like a no-brainer.
Right.
It's not exactly the best thing to be sitting
well,
at
when you're at work,
your desk.
it's the over texting, it's the cell phone, it's the annoying ring that makes the boss seem, gee, this person has too much time on their hands, or there's just not enough going on in this environment right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering about different sectors, different jobs. Are there any that are sort of safer than some of the other ones?
Well, healthcare is a very hot issue and area right now. There's not enough nurses, there's not enough medical technicians, there's not enough physical therapists. So if you're going to change careers or go into an area, the medical area in all kinds of ways is one of the areas to go to. But it's not time to leave your job and open a business or turn around. It's really focus on your job right now.
How do you make yourself more valuable to your employer?
By working harder and being there, being at the job and showing that you're concerned. It's not the time to be difficult, to be complaining, and it's not the time to be really just not a nice person in general that people don't like to work with. People will go out of their way to keep employees that they like because they know them and they like them. It doesn't matter how good the job is. The chemistry is very, very important. Don't overlook that.
How about acquiring new skills, being able to sort of add to your skill set and say, well, you know, look, this is what I can do.
Yeah.
Is this a good time to maybe take some evening classes or some weekend courses?
It's a really time to update your resume. The best time to look for a job is when you don't need one. You can put your resume online. You can cloak it online now, so that means that you don't have your name on it. You don't even have where you're working currently. But when you go in for your review, sometimes it's important to have your resume ready and show your boss. They often forget what you've done. You might be on a job 8 or 10 years. So by handing a copy of your resume to your boss so they see the responsibilities that you're doing in the job, they become aware of what you're doing. They also say, gee, I wonder why that resume is ready. Why is that resume in your hand?
Last question, Stephen. What if your boss says, you know, look, times are tough and I'm getting some pressure from my boss to look at ways that perhaps we can start to cut costs a little bit in this division, and just sort of putting you on notice that perhaps your job might be in jeopardy?
Yeah. I still say a surprisingly new technique is to say to your boss, listen, if it's about money, I'm willing to take a pay cut to keep this job. I really want to keep this job. But worst case scenario, if you lose that job, file for unemployment right away, get your resume out there, be sure it looks professional. You don't want no one wants to hire Blondie at yahoo.com or Hot Stud at AOL. You really want to have the right information on that resume and get it out there right away, and start with the competitors. Whoever you're competing against, they want to have your resume first.
Very interesting stuff. Stephen Viscusi, author of On the Job, and a brand new book coming out this June called Bulletproof Your Job. Nice to talk to you.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks for having me.
Coming up next, how to manage your 401k these days and how to stay afloat in case you lose your job. We just talked about that a little bit with Stephen. We'll talk about it more. Also,